Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's Rivalz race chat. Wow, how many tongue twisters are we going to put into a couple
Welcome
weeks?
to this week Rivalz race chat.
You'd think I had marbles in my mouth or something, but glad to see you're on fine form as usual, Adam.
I wasn't thinking marbles at all.
Hey, how can you be punchy? We haven't even had one delay yet or any features to have to get through the program, but we do have a lot to talk about. Looks like it'll be me and you bullshitting here for the hour, but everybody, we want your input. We definitely want to know what you're thinking, what you thought about the races you saw on the weekend. I don't know, Adam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. See, you never read my promotional posts, partly
No,
because I wait until it's showtime to air them, and partly because you just don't care about me. But this week's promotional post, I'm not sure what he's wrong about, but I'm confident Clinton Geoffrey Crutchker will be wrong about something. Tune in to this week's Rivalz.
I was wrong about you breaking the chair on Sunday, because when you got on that little pedestal, I thought there was no way. And I'm kicking myself for not getting a picture of it. But you sitting on this little French-style salon chair with a post about as big as my pen, it was. I said, "There's no way you're making through the features with that." And I was going to go double or nothing, but I do. I know.
Put me in a chair like that, I should come out with manicured nails and.
But yeah, but every time it squeaked, Greg was getting excited. He thought you were going to lose your $20. And then even one time in the show, you guys, that wasn't the chair. But let's get back to some seriousness going on.
It was a fun week. It was a fun weekend. Really, really good racing this weekend, Clint. Like I thought this weekend was going to be good. I'm not going to lie. I thought Brighton and Merrittville, two tracks that always bring action, but they both delivered.
Yeah, kicking things off, going back to Brighton, I know you, Greg, and myself, we always talk about how great of a place it is, but we really get treated like family. I love it. It's a great little spot. I mean, the atmosphere is perfect, and they have their perfect full crew of racers that are just dedicated to Brighton. A lot of those guys don't travel at too many other places, maybe the odd special here or there, but they've really built up their own culture of racers right there at Brighton, and that's a great thing.
Well, racetracks that a racetrack in an area like that does well. That's why Cornwall does really well. Like you look at places that aren't hugely populated, but that's the action spot on a Saturday night in that whole area.
Yeah, I mean, it's been it's been I'm just joking with Spencer about the rundown, and okay, maybe I'm wrong, Spencer. Sorry, Adam. Okay, so let's go back to where we are. I don't see 100 fans in the stands on there. Does it say that on there, Spencer? Okay, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go. I
know. Okay. Take a deep breath.
I wrote the show 2 days ago. That did make sense. I just said, Spencer, the rundow's wrong because that's what it says on your Google sheet. I'm like, damn it, he's right. Okay, so let's get into this, to the bulk of it. First off, please send your questions, comments, interaction stuff. We want to hear from you. We love your questions and your input because it helps us drive the show and it helps us communicate with you guys and get your feelings out there too. Crazy season, Adam. So this past week was the first weekend where the tracks were allowed to have 100 fans. So a few tracks have done it a couple different ways. For example, Brighton Speedway, they had a draw among fans who sent in emails. There's been a few different ways they've done it. Thoughts on 100 fans in the stands? It was certainly cool to be able to, for the first time this summer as a Victory Lane announcer, say, fans, put your hands together when the driver got out, and you actually heard somebody cheer for that. So that was getting closer to where we need to be, but there were tons of fans who were left out who hopefully tuned in to watch our broadcasts. But, what are your thoughts on the government going to 100 fans and where we need to be?
Well, I think it's progress for one. And, even if, and let's compare to World Wrestling Entertainment, they've been working on how to make things go. So when they do Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, they actually have some people in the facility, and I believe a lot of them might be employees, and they're behind plexiglass. But even that small number of people pounding on the glass and cheering when you should cheer and booing when you should boo gives it at least some ambiance, right? And I think 100 fans did the same thing. There were 100 appreciative fans because it was good racing. It was a good show for them. So I think, yeah, it's great progress. I mean, it's not a bleachers full of screaming people, but it's a good start.
Let's talk about the way they've gone out to get those fans. So, draw seems to be a fair way to go about it. I know how I would have done it if Ushweekend was in this situation, and we're still in lockdown for those who are wondering. Ushweekend is still in phase 2. But, I think I probably would have started with my seasoned fan holders first and given the season's ticket holders the chance to buy those 100 seats first. Then whatever's left, go out to the draw. I've seen it done many different ways. But the prices, Adam. So the prices have gone anywhere from like a $25 ticket, I believe it was at Merrittville, to I hear some of the tracks in Ontario charging upwards of $50 for the grandstand or the pits. It's I think at this point in time, the tracks can probably get away with it because you're going to find 100 people who'll be willing to pay that. But in the long term, that won't keep your fans very happy. Your ideas or thoughts on that?
No, and we've even talked to promoters, Clinton, who are in the game of they're doing pay-per-view type races right now to help generate some money, and they've said the same thing. Their revenue is getting lower and lower and lower to where it plateaus, and that's what you're going to have when you have an expensive ticket price. You're going to find the demand lessens with every event you put on. I think they're probably going to be okay because I think like 100 people at a time, you'll find people to step in, but you really do want to be entertaining that large a number as you can. You want to engage as big a number as you can on a weekly basis. And we're going to, this is a bit of inside baseball on how Ushweekend looks at things. Our goal is to get as many eyeballs as we can get on our Friday night product. Do nothing that would limit your audience. So we want people to be there live and have a great time. So we get them there live and we show them a great time. We also provide a stream because there's people that can't get there every Friday night, and there's people who may never get to Ushweekend because they're in different regions. But that's how you grow, by getting those people to share things, by someone in the stands bringing in their neighbor one week. Grow, grow, grow to get more eyeballs instead of fishing in the same pond. Because if you fish in the same pond without ever restocking the pond, sooner or later you run out of fish.
It's kind of like you and I were talking yesterday, and I said I used the Toronto Maple Leafs as a reference point, and I said I don't think the Maple Leafs or any major sports would be as large as they are right now if they just tried to survive on pay-per-view, because you've got to we that's the formula we subscribe to at Ushweekend Speedway, was the same as all the major sports. Give the product away for free, get sponsors to cover what you're losing at the gate, and make it work and grow the sport. And you're right, fishing in the same pond is a great analogy. So, I totally agree there. We have some great video footage to show you tonight from a lot of different angles from both nights. We're excited to show you some of that. Let's just go through if we have any questions or comments. You see anything that's jumping out you there in the comments? Mike Kira says, I'm not for the raffle, not for people bitching about price or fair amount of tickets. There's all kinds of questions and comments that people have about, it's just good. Everybody's got their different opinion. It's tough to please everybody, Adam, especially in a situation like this year when there's so many different political opinions and agendas that everybody has, good, bad, or it's really difficult to meet all the demands of everybody. Just take a walk in your neighborhood. You're going to see different situations going on everywhere. How about we look at some of the footage? Spencer, what do you got for us from Brighton? Anything we can take a look at? That would be some footage from there. They had some great highlights, Adam. A great field of cars. It was the Brighton's 4 divisions, the Comp 4 mini stocks together. Their Thunder stocks, which we're seeing here, the Canadian modifieds versus the UMP modifieds, and then an open late model show. The images we showed there, and we said this before, if you've never been, if you've been to Brighton for many years and never seen it on TV, you're going to get a different viewpoints. And I think we did a good job of showing a different side of Brighton Speedway on Saturday night.
Oh, for sure. The camera locations were great. The action was very good, and we caught a lot of it. And this is something you get at Brighton Speedway, is a lot of little spins, and sometimes the little spins even gather up 4, 5, 6 cars, but they usually all drive away from the wreckage, which is great. The mini stocks were frustrating. They had a tough time getting it together, which was a shame because when they did, there was some really good racing out there.
Yeah, the mini stock race was a bit of a caution-filled affair, but I still thought the racing was great all around. At the end, you had sparks flying when Devin Kippen held off Tommy Bailey at the end there. That was exciting. I thought the Canadian Vintage Modified had the Canadian Modified race had some great action too. I was
Well, the
super happy
finish.
there.
And here's the
Yeah.
last lap. Oh, I thought
Oh, we missed this. Is just the clip
wasn't.
reel at the end of the night that we show as we close. These will be all the biggest highlights, not exactly the finishes. So
I actually thought that was the finish, though, at that one, as we see Thunderstock's 3 wide. So Brighton is, I would say it's the shortest track we've been to, but definitely not the shortest in terms of the caliber of the racing. It is a wide place, lots of lanes to choose from.
no, want to thank the Rinaldis for all they did there. Hot day. We were all struggling a little bit. Mosquitoes were bad. I feel so bad for Chris Hawkins. Dale Calman told me, don't forget the bug spray. And I forgot the bug spray. And Chris Hawkins paid the price for it. His back looked like he'd been crawling through poison ivy for weeks when he lifted up his shirt Sunday night.
Yes. Hold that thought for 1 second. This is the comment that if we could frame one comment and send it to track promoters. Kim Toth Fountain. First time seeing racing from Brighton. Definitely on my list to go there next summer. COVID sucks. That's entirely the point. Merrittville, I think everyone's seen Merrittville. Everyone's been to Merrittville. You know what I mean? It's one of those places that if you're a dirt modified fan, Humberstone, not everyone's been there. Brighton Speedway, probably even less people this side of Toronto have made that track. But if that racing doesn't encourage you to go to Brighton Speedway for a big race next year or whenever you get the chance next, I don't know what will. And that's why we do it.
You know, they had a bit of a track delay to make the track perfect, but they want to make sure the action was good, especially when the guys are getting limited time out there. So Mark did a good job putting the track together, but I can tell you, as you can, Adam, and Dave Bradley, and Greg Callan will tell you as well. We work there many nights, and that program kicks off around 6:30 and is done by 10 o'clock. It's very rare that I'm not finished my victory lane by 10 o'clock at Brighton. So they crack off a show really fast. The food there's amazing. Atmosphere is great. If you're into, alcoholic beverages, they've got an amazing bar area where you can sit there and drink a cold one and watch the races. Probably better than anywhere that I can think of in the racing world. You're basically on the fence in turn 4, sitting there watching. So if you get a chance, definitely take the time to go to Brighton. You will not be disappointed. Also, Adam, it's a beautiful part of the country down there. You mentioned to me, we were talking a little bit about it. Just venture a couple miles either way of the Speedway, and you're going to see just how gorgeous that area of the province is. So, anything else you want to add before we wrap up Brighton?
No, I think you did a great job. I'm on vacation the next week, and that's where we're starting our holiday, is right there in Brighton at the Speedway. I left our trailer down there, and we're going to drive down, spend a night or two, and then tour around. So yeah, great part of the province. And I always read the comments. I try to jump back and forth to different places where we are. But Dusty, the halftime show on the broadcasts were entertaining. And the halftime shows, I'm going to tell you right now, we could have flipped a coin. They could have gone hardcore off the rails because we didn't know that break was coming. Like we were really caught with our pants down. And so for Clint, for yourself, so you're out there hustling to get interviews. Greg and I are rolling our eyes at each other like, now what the hell do we talk about? But it's funny because we always find something and it sort of spins off into something ridiculous. So both nights I thought we had an awful lot of fun during the breaks, but it's the most stressful fun ever.
The one thing that I like about listening to you guys is I'm a big comedy fan too. So some of the best comedians are guys who set up a joke at the start of the show and they're still punching it out at the end of the show. And some of the stuff you guys say are just gifts that keep on giving throughout the night. And if you're with us for the whole show, I think you're chuckling along with us most of the night as well. We are working on a new platform here that will allow us to capture all those great moments we have. And I'm working on a system with Spencer to capture that and at least mark those, because I think we could do a half-hour show or an hour show with just comedy clips after a weekend like we had. And, like you said, the delays, you get a bit punchy and you start going at each other a bit. And sometimes it's priceless entertainment. It is great. Melissa Stoneberg asks, is Brighton going to be live next weekend? First off, I wasn't aware Brighton was doing an official race next weekend. And secondly, no, it won't be live not on GeForce anyways. Our upcoming schedules, we're off. Okay, go ahead.
I think she might be thinking of Brockville. Maybe.
I don't know. But
I don't know either.
we are going to be off this weekend on GeForce, and then we are going to be next week. We kick off our deal with APC, so that's exciting at Jukasa on the 8th. So super excited to get going out there. Chris, glad you got your GeForce shirt. Thank you so much. We appreciate the questions and comments and the kind words as always. Wow, what a day Brighton was,
Hey,
Adam.
hey,
If I go ahead.
I was gonna say slow yourself down because the comments keep coming in, and I thought you were about to jump 3 topics. But Joe Bub said, and I want you to talk to this, Clinton. Some other tracks seem to not want to do the work that you guys did to make these shows happen. When I would post your events, their Facebook posts, I would get nasty messages from the promoters.
Ooh, I want to know what promoters. Send us a message. I'd love
So
to know who didn't like that.
if you commented on someone else's post, like for example, a Varney Speedway post, and you post something that's going on that's competing maybe with them, I could see where they'd be disappointed. But Clinton, you've never been shy, and neither have I. If anyone does question our motives or question our theory on, hey, you're giving something away that we charge money for, we have the business model that shows that it can be done.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. I've been frustrated this week a little bit. I'm trying to make some deals with some of these other tracks going along to try and get deals going. As you know, we've had a great product. If this weekend alone doesn't show what we can do for you in your speedway, you need to open your eyes a little bit better because we're closing in on what? Spencer, give me the number. 40,000 views already for the 2-day total at least. We're over 23,000 with at Merrittville alone from Sunday night. So those are 22,000 views. I mean, that is a solid. That's a lot of nights at the racetrack full of people, and those are new people and new eyes that aren't seeing it. And that's the biggest thing, the biggest key word. And 6 months ago, you guys were all sick of me saying cross pollination, but it's working because we've got all these pavement people watching the dirt races and the dirt people watching the pavement races, and we're realizing we're all in the same cult. We got to work together on this, and it's not so much about one's for getting there and one's for growing potatoes. There's lots of ways we can work together to help uplift our sport, especially in this year. And I think you're right, Adam, when it comes to a promoter. There's a couple things I always try and gauge. If I'm promoting on top of your promotion, that's not cool. You know what I mean? There's a time and a place, and it may not be the right spot. I could see another Friday track maybe not liking us promoting our Friday night stuff at Ush Weekend, but I could see that. And yeah, I'm not sure. Joe Bob, send me a message. I'd love to know who didn't like what you had to post.
Yeah, and he just said it was a reply to a comment within their post. So, and that could be, and if someone slaps your wrist, that's fine, but you can always reply back to them privately and say, hey, any chance you could do this for your
you know,
fans? Because,
I know one thing Spencer hates is when we tell everybody to share it. Like he'd like it to just organically come together, right? But if you want to do something for us on GeForce and show your appreciation for what we're doing here, just share these broadcasts, whether it be our talk show or our live streams or whatever we've got going on. Help us get the word out about that, because the more popular it gets, the more views we can get, the more free programming we can give you, and the better we can get. So I feel like on the PBS channel, WNED in Buffalo, with your 1 month subscription, you get a free Kermit the Frog puppet. But I think, you know what I'm saying? That's the best thing you can do is make your own post and share what we're doing. Help us promote GeForce, and we're committed. I mean, you look at the core people behind GeForce. Every one of us is on the mission to upload and uplift this sport every way we can. And I mean, like from Greg Callan, he'll tell you too, the reason he got in this sport is because he wanted to fix it. The reason has Image Factor and doing hero cards and websites is because he saw that drivers needed help in that department, and he wanted to make the sport more professional. So again, super proud of our work on the weekend. Any other thing you want to talk about, Adam, before I jump ahead, because I am a little bit hyper tonight?
yeah, you seem jacked, that's for sure. Mike Mitchell comments that somebody shared an early season pay-per-view show, I think from Brockville or Cornwall, on social media, and the person got asked not to share it for free. And that would make sense too. If they're trying to sell it, we shouldn't
Sure.
try to take it and give it away. And now Greg Boydell and this is what I was going to say. The day there is an outtake reel at the end of something I'm involved with is the day that I could almost drop the mic and walk away. The only thing that could make it better is if Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise walked in and shared a moment with us. Like that to me is the pinnacle of entertainment.
Well, if those guys are putting crash reels together that fast, watch what you ask for. And we do have some fairly, I wouldn't say long days, but we're going to spend some hours coming up in the next months together. So I'm sure they can compile that from the production booth. Spencer
And the
says
stuff
noted.
that we say off the air, there's times when we know we're on the air, and there's times when we know we're off the air. And then there's those gray areas where we're not sure if we're on or off, but there's some fun stuff said.
You talking about your cutoff booby shirt, and I'll tell you, if you missed it, it's at the 138 mark of the Merrittville race. Adam tells a story about being in Mexico with a crop top shirt and his boobs hanging out the bottom in the pool. I cried listening to it
my
back the
boobs
other day.
didn't
Don't
hang
tell it
out.
now. Don't tell it now.
You
They got to go listen to it.
You
They gotta go
fantasized
listen to
that
it.
part.
You actually said boobies on the air. You said my
Yeah,
boobies.
I don't. Whose boobies was I talking? I can't remember whose I was talking about.
Yours.
See, I say things and I don't remember them. Like I don't know what I said 5 minutes ago. But
can we move
it
on
was
from
fun.
your boobies now?
I think we should.
Spencer, do you happen to have the picture that I shared? I'll send it to you right now. So we get rolling there Saturday. So first off, let me show you a couple things. So I was like 18,000 steps after Brighton. I could barely walk when I got home at 3:30 in the morning. Then we got back up and went to go do it at Merrittville again. And Daniel and Spencer and I were all dragging ass, but we got it done. Around 3 o'clock, we have a big problem, and that is when our computer starts to overheat. And that was a major problem for Madam. And Spencer, I just sent it to you, so throw that up if you can. It was the internal cooling in the computer crapped out, and we were down to a one camera shoot at one point. And then Spencer, we tried to get a fan on it. It wasn't cooling down, and we ended up taking the pop cooler from the beer cooler or fridge from the corner, putting it on the floor, and mounting all the computer stuff inside of it and rerouting. And now we were already 100% set up. So it's our workstation never looks that messy. I tell you, Daniel and Spencer do a great job, but in the chaos at 4 o'clock, we were just cramming shit back in there as fast as we could. We taped up a little bumper on the door so the corner of the thing wouldn't break the glass. And lo and behold, we got the show off. So that was, and you get discouraged when you're in the middle of it. You think, oh man, what are you doing? I remember looking at Daniel Spencer and said, we're a race team too, guys. And, probs are going to come up and we're going to have to find our way through it to make the feature tonight. And we got it done. So that was kind of a cool thing we got shared. And I know a lot of people liked seeing that. But moving on to the action at Merrittville, Adam, again, great action, great racing, great field of cars. You had two of the best divisions on dirt there with the 360s and the 358 modifieds, and then a massive pack of Hoosier stocks, and the racing was just awesome. So Spencer, instead of throwing our clip reel, if you have the one, the sprint car race was awesome, Adam. I think we've got some clips of that. In fact, I know we do. Spencer, play the Cale Thompson one I sent, if you have it, where he took our audio and put it over his in-car camera stuff, and it was really cool. It's Adam and Greg calling the slide job battle at the end of it with Jordan Poirier. And
before you roll with this, Cale Thompson, like Thompson Photography, their love for the sport is the reason I'm a big fan of theirs. Their work, it's like Greg Callan. Their work is pristine. Like, they do amazing work. Every time they post something, it's fantastic, but it comes from a place that they just love being around racing. And I'll bet you I haven't had 4 conversations in my life with them, but I just love the work.
Okay, Spencer says he doesn't have the one, so let me see if I can. Okay, play the Mac Demand crash, and I'll get you this other one. So Mac Demand had a pretty big crash, Adam. This is on board with Mac Demand. And you can talk about this, and I'll find the other clip I'm looking for here.
So you can see it's a gaggle of cars. Now, the accident happens with him and a car to his outside that we never see. Listen to this. You know, looking at how that wheel came right into the cockpit of the car, in older days, that's how someone gets killed in a race car, right?
Yeah,
when you have
look at that
sort of
crash
a
again. That
crash.
is crazy.
Just remember, the right side of the screen is McDeman's head. And right there, like that wheel's coming for a visit.
Yeah. Oof, that's so vicious. And look, it is right in there.
Yep.
I'll send this to Spencer, but I'm not sure if he can get it up in time.
Thankfully, the drivers were uninjured, Sean Slider and McDeman. There were some hurt feelings, but I believe both of them, I know that you asked a group question about, hey, who's ready to have another race? And I think both of them committed.
Sean did, Mac did not. Mac said he wouldn't be able to go, but Nanacoke would be. And that's they're talking about, just for those asking, there is talks right now for another 360 race for the 360 sprints here in Ontario, potentially at Cornwall in the coming weeks. On a Saturday is the talk right now. So we'll bring you all that final information once we have it, but we're kind of gauging the interest from the West here to combine with the drivers from Quebec and the Eastern Ontario to see if we can get the 360s on the track another time or two before the season's up, until we find out what happens at Osh Weekend. But do you have any other clip, Spencer, we can show from Merrittville? Roll whatever you got, and we'll try and get the so this is some of the highlights. And another long delay there, Adam, a medical delay in the pits made you and Greg have to shoot on the fly again, some audibles, but thankfully we had the last night's Brighton Thunderstock race to go back to, so we watched that for a bit and before we got back to the action. But the action at Merrittville was great, man. Chris Hale and Rob Murray, and the ODCC rules are so awesome because you look there, you've got an Oshweekend guy, a Merrittville guy, a Buxton guy, a Brighton guy, all right there battling in that top group. It's just amazing the level of competition that we've been able to groom here across the 5 dirt tracks in Ontario.
It absolutely is. Good physical racing, but not really dirty. Like, it was just good action. I mean, Rob Murray had his way with the field. This is a Greg Boydell shot. We've put Greg Boydell down in turn 1 at most of the places we've been, and boy, does he come back with some great shots for us.
And you see this letter car damage. Bad wreck for McDeman, as we mentioned, obviously, and they wrecked that brand new car. As did Slider, had all kinds of damage too. But this battle at the end between, Corey Turner, Jim Hoopinen, and Jordan Poirier at the end, Poirier ended up grabbing it. But look at the slide job battle these guys had. It was just awesome to watch. And, that's what sprint car racing's all about. 3 to go, a caution, but in the end, Poirier got it done, made his long drive from Quebec worthwhile, and then we jumped into the 358 modifieds, which certainly didn't disappoint again, Adam, but Matt Williamson, the class of the field pretty much anywhere here in the Northeast lately. No surprise he got it done at Merrittville by a big margin.
Yeah, I was impressed with the drive that Dalton Slack had. I was also really impressed with Freddie Carlton. I mean, he hung in there for a long, long time, had problems late in the race. I'm not even sure what his problems were, but he was battling with the best of the best. Everybody but Matt Williamson kind of drove away, but Freddie Carlton was up to the challenge of everybody else.
Yeah, Freddie looked good, won his heat, and was hanging on for a bit. At the end there, he got run over by Dalton Slack at the end, and I talked to Freddie later. It was no fault of his own, of Dalton Slack's. His ignition switch just broke on him. He said, I was running great. He says, there, I'm flicking the switch, and he said, I got my arm out on the battery disconnect, trying to figure out what it was, and he goes, by the time I got to 1, I was already pounded in the back a few times, but, he said in the end, he felt good, just had one of those $2 switches take your night away, so...
Now, I spoke with Freddie early in the night because I try to talk to Freddie anytime he's at the races and I'm at the races. I enjoy his energy. He went to Granby last weekend. He says, it's been a long time since I've gone that fast in a race car. Granby is a fast racetrack.
I have not been down there, but the drive is a long way. I remember driving to Nova Scotia, and you're driving, it seems like a day and then some. And then you're like, that's Granby? Like, our guys drive all the way down here to race? That's a long-ass haul. For sure it is. All right. So, anyways, want to thank everybody at Merrittville, all the sponsors who got behind those the races. To answer the question, we're not sure when we're going to be back on the dirt just yet. It was a round of, we were able to provide funding to cover the broadcasts for the first 6 events. So, we'll see what comes down in the next little while. I was talking to some of the other, I think it was Dave McKnight Jr. I talked to today, and he was asking me how I thought the season was going to shake out. I tend to think that a lot of the heritage events may not be able to happen this year, meaning things like Super Dirt Week or, Autumn Colors on the pavement side here in Ontario. What I think that's going to do is I think that's going to really open things up to continue the season longer if the weather's good. So you may see tracks, and that being said, if we're still stuck at 100 fans, the tracks know what they can do to get out there going. So we're not sure what our broadcast involvement is. We have been looking at a couple of other options to do a G-Force light style production where it would be maybe one camera and a ticker at some of the tracks to at least get the action out, whether it ends up being live streamed or the next day are some of the options we've been talking about. So hopefully we'll bring you some news on that. We love providing the 6 camera A1 show, but if it takes one camera and a lesser deal to get the programs out there for these tracks that want to partner up with us, we're certainly going to try and make that happen for them. And wow, we do have some great new programming coming up, Adam. Before I jump into that, is there anything you want to stomp on?
Yes, I want to reply to Mike Pendergrass's comment. Mike, I did not get my $20, so the campaign will now begin. Hashtag Clint, you owe Adam $20. Anybody sharing that on social, I will share that $20 with everyone who shares it. You will get a portion of that $20 if Clint and Geoffrey ever pays up.
My new headband. If it's there when I see you in 2 weeks, you can have it.
If it's there when I see you in 2 weeks, it means you haven't showered in 14 days, and I'm going nowhere near you.
All right, there's your $20. I'll put it here right beside the camera for you. All right, so I'll gladly pay you, because had you broken the chair, it would have been worth my $20, and even just the thought of you being a chair breaker was worth my $20.
Odds were in your favor. I have busted my share of chairs over the years, but I've lost a little bit of weight, so I'm putting less strain on this equipment.
Daddy's money told me to send a slab pizza up to the booth and get my $20 back, but the slab pizza was about $22, and I don't know. The win in the bet to see you break the chair might have been worth the $2 loss, but anyways,
well, it would have been if there was film.
So some of the questions that have come in. So if you're one of our regular viewers and you hang out with us, and I tend to think we have a lot of you guys that and gals who enjoy our live broadcasts and hang out with us here through the week, and Adam's Mindwell sessions on Thursdays too. So one of the questions we had is, are we going to have to keep watching Ush Weekend 2019 for a whole nother year? No, it's not. We've got all the equipment to the Wizard now. So we are looking for tapes. If you've got complete race tapes from anywhere, I would say anywhere, we'll take it. We'd like to borrow those tapes. We'd like to encode them and upload them to our network, and we'll give proper credit to whoever their videographers are. But we're looking for old tapes. So we're going to have a retro rewind, and that's a tongue twister we worked on yesterday. Retro rewind on GeForce TV, featuring different tracks. And the idea originated with using all the Ush Weekend footage because it's our 25th season, or would have been our 25th season right now. So we were going to take a look back at Ush Weekend. So I think we broadened that idea out. So if you've got old tapes, and the only requirement we ask is it's got to be a green to checkered. We don't need just random clips. We are looking for complete races with or without the call of the race. If it's got the call of the race, it's even better. I know Adam and I are going to be mega embarrassed when some of these tapes come out. I found one tape from 20 years ago from us, and I sound like I'm about 6, and you sound like you're about 7. So it's going to be great to watch those old tapes of us when we're young and dumb.
We also want to see your submissions. This is what you need to say. It'd be better if you say it 5 times quickly. I'm ready for retro rewind.
Try it.
Actually, put on GeForce TV.
Get 3 out in a row.
Give us your submissions. I'm ready for retro rewind on GeForce TV. Spit it out a few times. I'd love to see that because I think it would be funny.
So that's a whole series we're going to build for you. We're excited about that. We also have all the in-car footage. Now, sometimes the in-car, like Glenn's wing and the speed of the cars at Maryville were making it tough to get the in-car. We did get some great footage, but we always get the files after because they're recorded on an SD card. So everybody who's in-car we had over for the Operation Green Flag, we're going to upload those in a series of in-car videos for you to check out too. So if you're a fan of like Nathan Rinaldi, who we were in on the weekend, or Brian Sudsbury at Brighton, or Glenn Stiers at Maryville, you can watch their complete race from the in-car on GeForce. So those things are coming up soon. Then the next thing we've got, Adam, coming up is well, I want to go back to the Pinties in a second, but APC series coming up on August 8th from Jukasa. So Premier Division, Premier Speedway, mixed with our team. I am super pumped about Jukasa and going there to put on the races. It just looks awesome under the LED lights. It's going to be badass. What are your thoughts on going to Jukasa with APC?
I am really looking forward to the whole concept. Again, Clint, a lot of people are dirt or asphalt. Not me. I love racing. So take me anywhere, and I'm going to enjoy it. I especially enjoy the product that APC puts out. The cars are always nicely prepared. It all looks good. I think it's going to be a great presentation, and I think our team is up for that challenge.
I just want to jump back to Maryville for a second. Ray Osborne sent me a great message the next day. He said, Clint, just want to share this picture of Adam at Maryville working hard where you're running across the infield. Man, you cover a lot of ground. So show that picture of Adam working hard there at Maryville, trying not to break the chair.
You know, I got nothing.
That's okay.
If you saw me in the back selling T-shirts, I was in one of those gravity-free lounge chairs, and it was beautiful. I found a great spot in the shade.
You know what I'll give you credit for? You were at the track bright and early both days. Connor even said to me, how the hell did we beat you to the racetrack today? You passed us on the 401. Well, I stopped for a cheeseburger at McDonald's before I got to the Speedway, so and grabbed some batteries. But that's you beat me there. And then actually, when I called you to find out where you were because I needed batteries, you were already in the pits selling apparel. I was like, whoa,
that's right.
That's amazing.
That's right.
And I'll give you credit because you had to drive back from Brighton to Cambridge back to Maryville. So.
And I enjoy doing it. Like you do ridiculous work on race day, and I would suffer for it. Like you seem to hit your stride at about midnight, and I'm not being sarcastic. Like I think your energy builds through the day to late at night.
Well, I'm on permanent afternoon shift.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the opposite. Like I taper down to where 11 o'clock. Okay, I'm done. Shut this train down. So where you're building energy, I'm trying to store as much as I can because I know I'm going to crash. So no, you've worked hard. Everyone's done their part, but physically you've done more.
No, it's all good, man. It's not a competition. I just love being able to know, and that's what I grew up doing, running cables. So when we agreed to do this, I said, Spencer, I'll handle getting the cables there. You guys get the control room going, and we'll work it out. We had all kinds of problems, though. This stupid shit we got to work out on our end. But, the show goes on, and nobody knows it, but we work it out.
You phone me, and you're freaking out as though I care. Like you're telling me all these problems. Dude, I don't care. This just, and I know I should because I'm part of the team, but I know that when it comes time to go on the air, everything will be sorted out, and I will have had zero to do with fixing the problem. So I kind of I listen to you vent because I think it's polite, and I try to act concerned, but I honestly didn't really think twice. And then I went upstairs and saw the computer in the fridge, and I thought, okay, they're outside the box. Obviously they had some problems, but they're going to be ready to go. I try to bring myself to a level of calm before the show.
Just stay out of the way when we're running around going crazy. That's the only thing I ask. Everybody says, hey, can I bring this guy? He'd like to watch what goes on. I said, just keep them out of the way. It's the biggest thing you got to do. Anyways, back to the Pinties 100. It has been pushed out to 2021. So there's two very easy things you can do. You can do nothing and keep your tickets. And I'm going to read the exact thing that I got sent the other day, just so I have the vernacular and perfect here. So just want to reach out to all our ticket holders from the Northern Summer Nationals Night 1 and Night 2, advising that the show has been postponed 2021 due to COVID-19. As soon as we have a confirmed date, we'll let you know. All tickets will remain valid for the new date. If you wish to keep your ticket, you don't need to do anything further. If you would like a refund, please contact us at 519-717-0023, and that's on all the track websites and all the contact information there. Spencer's got it. So if you want your refund, call 519-717-0023. Mary will be happy to issue for you right away. If you want to hold on to your seats, you can just do nothing, and you'll be ready as soon as we have the new date announced. Obviously, that won't probably come till December, January time, but that's the deal. So once again, if you need your refund for the Pinties, or if you missed your chance to get a refund for the Triple Crown Showdown in July, you can call that number and Mary will fix you right up. So that takes care of that. So just wrapping up the weekend and all the stuff we've had going on, it's been great. Our schedule right now looks like August 8th. I'll just pull it up here. We are August 8th with the APC series at Jukasa, and along with that are the Oscar Hot Rods and Oscar Modified, so that's going to be super exciting. We've got some other production work coming up in the weeks in the middle. Then we take off for the next APC race at Sabo, which is going to be super exciting to get up to there, and that will be on the 22nd. So right now, our next 2 weeks of broadcast will be August 8th and August 22nd for now. So that's where we are. Stay noted. We will try and get you some more programming as soon as it comes down the pipe. Now, Adam, I'm excited to get out there with the Oscar Hot Rods and the Modifieds too. I think they're two divisions that are going to show very well at Jukasa, and looks like the show is going to kick off probably around 6, and with action starting at 6:30. So we will probably pick up. If I'm thinking, we'll probably go to a live shot and start accumulating viewers around 6, and our full produced show will start at 6:30 on August 8th from Brighton Speedway, and that's going to be really exciting. Adam, you were a go-karter. This brings us to our Burger Barn video of the week, and I got to tell you, I got to talk to Jay Hill from the Burger Barn at Merrittville Saturday. They are booming. If you're in the area or passing through Six Nations or Haldeman County, make sure you get over to the Burger Barn. Call ahead, and they've got a ton of picnic tables outside now. So, Adam, it is even better to go to the Burger Barn now. They got beautiful umbrellas outside. You can sit out in the gorgeous weather and eat that beautiful food. So check it out, Burger Barn. Also, while you're there, don't forget Petra Plus Travel Stop is their brand new gas bar right there. And you can get all the stuff you need from fuel right up to high test to diesel to DEF for your diesel truck. So check that out. That's Burger Barn and Petra Plus Travel Stop. I want to thank Jay Hill for everything he does for us, which brings us to our Burger Barn video of the week. Adam, this is go-karting, and I wonder if you've ever done this, because I've seen this done as a joke when you're messing around with your buddies, but I don't think I've ever seen it in real competition. Play the video, Spencer, and this is the go-karters. They're racing around, and what happens is one of the guys reaches over and pulls the spark plug off the other guy's cart, and he doesn't take it very well. He gets very upset about it, and they're near the back of the pack, and there he goes. Can you
there
see
you
that?
go.
Back it up, Spencer, if you can.
I don't
The
know
guy's
how he
red
got
cart.
up there and spun the other fella out.
Okay, so it's the blue cart on the inside here. Reaches over right there. Reaches over and pulls the red guy's spark plug off, and his cart just stalls. But play it one more time, Spencer. I love what the red guy did. He realized what happened, and he turned into him and spun him out. He didn't let him get away with it.
Yeah, that was a quick reaction.
So as soon as he realized his cart died, he just turned right into him. And Spencer, one more time, but play the audio, and you can hear Mom in the background going, he pulled off his spark plug. Mom don't miss nothing at the go-kart races. You know, she was the first one. And now I don't think they square off more than that, but
with the Honda race engines that we always ran up here, they had on-off switches, which you could easily reach by hand, which was a really bad idea.
Well, a lot of the dirt carts like that, they may have a kill switch, but what they've got is it's probably even in the rules where they have to have a zip tie on the spark plug. So as a kill switch, an adult can reach over and pull it off if the kid's out of control easily. So that's how you're shutting your cart off too. When you pull in the pitch, you just pull on your zip tie, and yeah, I've heard of it done, never seen it done in competition, but I thought that was a video that caught our eye a little bit. Spencer, just let me know what kind of video clips you got left. Did you get any of the video clips of the Ridge or any of that stuff we talked about and sent you yesterday? Okay, so Steve Shaw, who is a Thunderstock racer from Southern Ontario Motor Speedway down near Chatham Way, and I think he's from Merlin, if I'm not mistaken. He sent me this video yesterday and said, hey, we have our very own Lost Speedway down here. It was called the Ridge, and it closed in 95, and it was down in that neck of the woods. And the people who own the property now posted a video on Facebook to explain that they're not going to tear the track out. They're going to try and save some of the heritage of the track. It won't be reopening, but they're not going to damage what it's got. Spencer, play the video if you can. So they're building a new house, but they're going to keep the track intact. And if I understand correctly, they have a lot of visitors who still come by and check it out.
Looks like a long racetrack.
I'm just trying to look up some of the stuff So says the Ridge Raceway operated from 83 to 95. It was a 3/8 mile clay oval. The track had two previous lives as a half-mile dirt oval from 52 to 54, then again from 69 to 78, previously known as Harwich Speedway and Ridgetown Speedway. It's basically located between Blenheim and Ridgetown on Ridge Road. When it opened in 69, it was resurfaced up to 18 inches of clay, and they raced late models, hobbies on Tuesdays and on Friday nights in the early 70s. But pretty interesting to see how that all and how cool is that people who understand the history of the property they bought, who aren't just going to demolish it, who are going to kind of coexist with the Ghost Speedway that lives next door. Adam, I think that's a really cool deal for them.
It's like the people that bought Jimmy Howard's place down on the beach strip, and they made a huge mural on the side of the shop, which was my dad's favorite place in the last couple of years. I made him a beautiful picture of him next to that mural, and it kept him happy.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me stories about Jesse James Howard back in the day. Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, while we're talking about the West, they have their event planned for the 19th, which is going to be a good deal for them. So check out what they've got for you if you're interested in going down there to race. I don't have all the particulars right now, but if you look it up, it won't be hard to find. Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. Looks like they're going to get an event out this year, and that's good for Henry and his crew down there as they've been working on that. Around the province this weekend, looks like Merrittville's going to have a race without modified, so it'll be, I believe, mini stock, V6s, mod lights, street, Hoosier stocks, and sportsmen. We are not broadcasting. I don't think they're broadcasting at all. Then, of course, you got Brockville going on this weekend with their event. I know the crate sprint guys from down here are looking to go down there. So you'll see a good contingent. They're talking about 8 or 10 of those guys are probably going to head down from the west here to head down to Brockville to help them build up their crate division. And that's exciting. And, what else you got for us, Adam? We got about 10 minutes to go.
Last week I got some messages after the show from Derek White. He was in the hospital with his brother Brandon, who was dying from cancer. And thank you so much to the viewer last week who sent that note, that reminder. Hey, shout out to Brandon White, who's in the hospital. And we did. We talked about Brandon White and what a great guy he is, what a great guy Derek is. Derek messaged me after to say he had Brandon listen to that, and there were tears in his eyes as he listened to just people being honest, me being honest about really enjoying being around him and the energy he brought. Brandon lost his battle with cancer Friday night, passed away about 7 o'clock Friday night. Spencer, those are the pictures that I had sent to you. But Brandon was always just a positive energy at the racetrack. He was getting better and better as a race car driver. This was the crew back in the earlier days. I believe that picture was taken at St. Eustache years ago. But Brandon White will be so missed. They had some great, what did they call them, send-offs, where there were some burnouts done down by where he's from. I saw some images of a hearse with what had to be hundreds of people walking behind it. There's Brandon White with his crew chief Robin McCluskey and Marc-Antoine Camerant. So he will definitely be missed. One of the fun guys in the sport, Clinton.
Thoughts out to the White family, of course. As you mentioned, Adam, one of the toughest son of bitches you can imagine. So tough to see those guys fall for sure.
So with rumors of NASCAR Pinty Series going to run some races, Derek White wants to honor his brother and come and race in the new car that Brandon had put together, but Derek is still banned from NASCAR. So if anyone listening has any pull with NASCAR, they really need to lift that ban. It's absolute silliness. The sport was built on bootleggers, and now they're picking one that they don't want to be around.
That's a story I need to hear more about. But we'll get our facts checked first, unless you want to elaborate on it.
No. There's charges for some of his cross-border work, and I mean you can read them anywhere. There's lawsuits going on, but the lawsuits aren't over. Like the criminal case has not been completed yet. He was already banned from competing. If that was the reason, maybe it's complete coincidence that NASCAR had banned him. But it just seems bothersome to me that someone can be charged with something and turfed out of a sport without ever being convicted.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Especially considering that we've got people like Junior Johnson in the Hall of Fame, and I'm all for Junior Johnson, but let's not forget he was a criminal. And they make a big deal. They've named it's what he did, right? And we look back and think, yeah, renegade, good for him. All right, well, where does it end? Like I'm all for revering Junior Johnson for what he did, but let's be careful about where we were and where we are and where we want to be.
Well, we got a couple minutes left in the show, and I want to bring up something that's controversial. And I probably should have started the show with this because it's a great topic for discussion. But I do just want to throw it out there. Our good friend Bob Miller from Dirt Track Digest down in the States said, with all these people kneeling during sports, what if we just did away with the anthem in general? And then we wouldn't have this problem anymore. Problem solved. Just play the game. Just do the sport. Kind of what my argument was a few weeks back here. Leave the politics out. Adam, we've had this discussion for many times. Tradition plays a lot in. I mean, I've fought for many times about the prayer. I mean, I'm not a religious person, so why do I have to sit and listen to someone else's prayer before I get to watch the sport I want to watch? I don't have to listen to them pray before I watch hockey. Why do I have to watch it at racing? And I realize if you're someone who's religious, maybe that's something you totally believe in and think it has its place. The anthem's kind of that same thing. It's very traditional. It's to honor the people, but it seems to cause a lot more controversy than it honors people these days. What are your thoughts on just dropping the anthem, Adam, throwing the green flag, throwing the checkered, and leaving all of that pomp and circumstance out?
Yeah, I could see that. I think there's something to be said for some sort of group activity to start an event, some sort of bonding moment. That the anthems have always really filled that. But yeah, I'm open to change.
It's funny you say that because, I kind of just being the trackside guy, I kind of look at myself as the clown of the group when we're down there. And, when we have a full house at Oshwegan, there's nothing cooler than when you say, make some noise, and you hear 10,000 people go, wah! So that is cool. And that's exciting, and I think everybody in the building feels it. So I do get what you're saying about doing a little group something to get everybody together. But I think, even as short time ago as 5 years ago, everybody stood up and basically or honored the anthems and took it seriously if you can, and made it be what it was supposed to be, and that's to honor, our country and everything. And we've even done it for both sides. There's tracks we've gone to, and I don't know, every track I grew up to was close enough to the border that we always played both. But then you go to tracks where they're in the middle and they only play one, which is fine. But I've often wondered, could we just eliminate it altogether and get away with it?
Well, you can get away with whatever you want. I do think there's something to be said for standing together as one. And as I say, if there was a better reason to do it than the anthem, then maybe we could. And the way politics has been going, maybe there is a better way to do it than with the anthem. But that's food for thought. Let's think about that. What activity can we all do to open a race night? Let everyone know, hey, we're in this together. Let's enjoy ourselves tonight. Like, don't think about the activity of playing the anthem. Think about why it was done.
But why it was done is why it's a political thing now. It was to honor these people, and now they don't want to honor those people because they feel those people did them wrong at some point. So,
yeah, but I don't think so.
Let's take it another way. Let's take the politics and the anthems out of it and go back to what you said about doing something to collectively as a group. Look at your 7th inning stretch. We need a OK Blue Jays song at the races where we can all get up and celebrate the sport and, let's play ball. It's the perfect song.
Well, go back to what you just said, and I don't want to burn you on it. I just want to understand, what is it we don't want to honor anymore that we used to honor?
Don't ask me, man, because I'm not one of those guys kneeling for these anthems. I stand proudly for my forefathers and my grandfathers and all them.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't get it. To me, I was raised to stand up for my flag and my country and my grandfathers who both fought in the world wars and do the right thing and, be respectful.
The freedoms that our ancestors, our forefathers fought for are the same freedoms that are leading to this confusion. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying we are now in a place where what is right? I'm happy to be at the racetrack when there's fans there because I know I'm among my people. I know that there's 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 people who are all there to have a good time, enjoy the spirit of competition, maybe enjoy some drinks, maybe enjoy some family, maybe enjoy friends, but we're all there for the same thing and it really feels good, right? And there was a time when those anthems represented all that. And now that things have been so drawn into different fights, you're right. But that's what I'm saying, that the freedoms that those anthems represented are now the freedoms that have led us into a place where I don't have the answer, and I don't think you do, but we can find it. And we'll still love it, and we'll still give it all the respect it deserves. But I do think there needs to be some sort of unifying of the masses. And if you just cancel the anthem, you're not doing anything to unify the masses. You're just pleasing a small percentage of people who say, well, that's old-fashioned. We don't need to do that anymore. And that's not a good enough reason to give up a tradition.
It's a talk for another day. I guess we're going to have to think on that. Bring your questions and comments next week, and we would love to hear your thoughts on that, whether you think we should be playing the anthems or not still at the races. It's a great topic. One thing I'd like to get out there is a public service announcement. As you know, I've been on the calls with Mark Rinaldi with the Ontario government to try and get our things opened up a little bit more, to get more than just 100 fans in. I'm going to send a plea out to every race car team out there. If you are at the races, whether you're a fan, crew, driver, official, wear your mask, okay? They are watching. They're looking to see what goes on. The only way we're going to be able to get this going is to wear the mask. Whether you believe in it or not, whether you do it or not, it's what you need to do with the races to help our sport right now for this time being, before it goes backwards and we aren't allowed to go at all. I was troubled by the lack of, some of the people not that you think would be the leaders in the deal need to be the leaders. We need to be out there. I don't like wearing a mask. I wear it religiously at the races because it's what we need to do to do the sport we love. So help out the people trying to help out get the sport back on track by going by what the government's asking us to do at this time. Whether you believe, whether you like who's in power, it's what they're asking us to do. The way I equate it is my kids have to wear mouth guards when they play hockey. They hate wearing the mouth guards, but they like playing hockey. It's what they have to do to play hockey. Right now, if we want to go to the races, we got to wear a mask, folks. So that's all I got to say about that.
I agree. And if you happen to be someone or know someone who's trying to cause problems for the people who are doing such a very diligent job in putting events on and being as safe as possible, think twice about your actions. Think twice about the words that you use, and think 3 times about the words that you use and who you use them to. Because if some people open their big yaps and say the wrong thing and hurt an entire industry, we're going to talk all about them and we're going to name names.
We will put you on blast if you don't behave. All
No,
right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Have your opinion, but don't ruin it for hardworking people who are trying to do good things.
Hey, it's the same thing. If you don't want to wear a mask and you don't feel safe, stay home.
Stay home.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Stay home and watch us. We got lots of great programming coming up. We have a jam-packed August and September coming up for you guys. We are working on getting some more new programming added to the roster, but right now we are off this weekend, and we are looking at August 8th, live from Jacasa Speedway with the APC, the Oscar Hot Rods, and Modifieds. For Adam Ross, I'm Clinton Geoffrey saying thank you, Spencer, for your hard work. Spencer Bus's back and balls all weekend for us. You missed it. Made it all weekend with his bad back. The last thing he did at Merrittville, walking out the door, literally the last step he took going down the stairs, he missed the last step and tweaked his back at about midnight. And I'm like, you made it all weekend, 55 floors, and the last step you tweak your back, man. What are you doing? Anyways, thanks everybody. Daniel and Spencer, all your hard work. Thrashing, we got it done. Enjoy the programming. Go back here on GeForceTV.net on YouTube. You got every bit of program we've done. All 7 Operation Green Flag events are up. Whether you're a Flamborough, a Merrittville, a Humberstone, a Brighton fan, we've got action for you. Go see it. We'll talk to you soon.